Hi guys, my name is Teresa if you are new, and today I'm talking all about postpartum. So I made a video, my 2-week postpartum update, but this video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be all about what I wish someone would have told me about postpartum. So even though I'm new in the game, I just wish I would have known these things. And my baby girl, Jaden, is 3 weeks and 4 days today, which is insane. She's almost 4 weeks and she is plumping up. She looks so cute. Oh my goodness. And if she wakes up, I will show you guys her. She's amazing. So basically, I'm going to have this video into 2 parts. The beginning part I'm going to talk about and get right into is what I wish I knew would have happened, what I wish I knew happened after giving birth. There are several things on my list that I was just like, I didn't know that really happened, and it wouldn't have occurred to me because I had never been through it before. And then the second part is my advice that I would give, that I literally wish I had someone right there telling me. Now, I am like the first person in my group of friends to have a baby. I have some friends that have babies, but we're not super close. Like, I'm talking like in my best friend groups, no one's had a baby yet. And then I have my brother who has kids, like my nieces, but we're not, like, we don't really talk about that a ton. It's not like mom to mom type thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. So my first thing that I wanted to really talk about is the birth high. The birth high. So when you have a baby, now this is all specifically for me. This is what I have experienced, and I think a lot of women experience it. You might not experience it if you're about to have a baby. You might not experience this, and your whole thing might be totally different. But for some people out there that are like, I want to know if I am going through something that someone else is, if you just want to feel like you're not alone and you're experiencing this as well, that's my whole reason for making this video. So the first thing is the birth high. And what I mean by this is right after you have a baby, give birth, you experience this high, like this euphoric feeling, like, oh my goodness, I just had a baby. Like, there's no explanation for it. Like, there's no words to put on it. I was talking about that on my Instagram a couple of days ago. I was just like writing out my feelings, and I was like, there's no way to describe birth. There's no way to possibly put a word or a phrase on having your baby. There's no way. So I experienced such a birth high that I had to ground down. Like, I was experiencing this high for so long, for I would say, I'm fidgeting with my hair because it got all crazy, but I would say a couple of weeks, up until week 2, where I just needed to like ground down, do some yoga, use essential oils, like really meditate and just like ground down, because you're so like up here that you just need time to come down, because it's still that euphoric feeling. For me personally, I just felt so euphoric and I was like, wow, I can do anything, but I needed that like balance, like that yin and yang. I needed to like relax and come down and ground. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that I experienced a lot of just hormone rushes, which is common. Like, you just had a baby, you carried this baby for 9 months, and you just had a baby. So that is totally normal to experience, just kind of like that rush of hormones. For me specifically, it had to do with breastfeeding, which I was told about this in the hospital, that with my letdown reflex, I can experience a bunch of different emotions, like anxiety, happiness, it could be anything. And I do like periodically have hormone rushes, and it can also be related to the sleep deprivation probably, but where I just feel a little more irritable, or I feel like really elated really just quickly, and then it kind of goes away. It just depends. But for me, that was totally normal, and my hospital let me know that that was going to happen. My doctor did, and my nurses did. And then the same thing for number 3, the same thing happened when I was pregnant, but it's like this little sense of identity loss. And then also I would say like identity confusion. Like, okay, now I'm a mom. Am I just a mom? Am I also a wife? Am I also a friend? Like, do I have time to be all these things? Just a sense of like, who am I after having this baby? I was this person for 9 months while pregnant. Everyone knew me as this pregnant lady. And now I am a mom and I'm no longer pregnant. Do I still relate to people? Like, what am I? And that is like slowly going away. Like, it's still such a new role. Like, I'm still so new into it. Like I said, she's only almost 4 weeks old. So I'm still so new into it. So I still have those feelings because it's brand new, and I was pregnant for 9 months, and it took that adjustment to get used to being pregnant. And so of course it's going to take an adjustment to get used to being a mom. But that is definitely what happened to me. Also, I had this like kind of feeling of like, okay, I'm no longer pregnant. So, you know, when you're pregnant, everyone wants to be involved with you, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're having a baby, this is so cool. And then of course after you have the baby, everyone wants to come and see the baby. And so it's not about like you and this beautiful baby anymore, it's about just the baby, which is perfect because she is amazing and she is absolutely beautiful and she is my whole world. But it created a sense of like, oh my goodness, am I not important anymore? Which sounds silly. It's like, of course, Teresa, you're important. But it's just normal hormone fluctuations where it's like, okay, like I am no longer this pregnant lady. I am a mom, and of course everyone wants to come see my beautiful baby, and it's not so much about me anymore. And that is perfect. It's just different, and it just takes a little bit. And then the feeling of my body just being so different. So number 4, my body just felt so different, and it's like when I first looked at my body after birth, I was like, I've never seen this before. And it's still so different. Like, I have curves in different places, my boobs are bigger because of breastfeeding. There's so many different things that go on, but it was just such kind of like a shock. It didn't last for long because I'm like, hello Teresa, like come back to earth, you just had a baby, your body's different. But it was just like a little bit of a shock, like whoa. And I saw like all my stretch marks, I saw like my linea negra like actually on the bottom, because when I was pregnant I was like, oh, I don't really have the linea negra, which is that like brown line across your tummy. I finally saw it because my belly deflated, so I was able to see that at the bottom. So it was just a little bit of a shock, but I'm still just getting used to my new body and having that independence as well, which is pretty cool. Still miss the kicks and everything, but it's pretty cool to just kind of like be in a new body, because it's not what it was pre-pregnancy. It definitely isn't what it is pregnancy, and it's just different. It's post-pregnancy. It's my body. And then lastly, number 5, just about different things that kind of went on, is that I experienced, now this is different for everyone, some people I don't think experience this, but I have been prone in the past to kind of having a little bit of anxiety here and there. So I had like anxiety when she would sleep. I couldn't sleep when she slept because I was so worried that she wasn't gonna be breathing right, like when she was first teeny tiny. So for those first 4 days, I got like no sleep. I survived off maybe an hour because I just, of course I was, number 1, I was just so in love with her. I am still so in love with her, and I just stare at her. Can't believe that John and I created this perfect little human. That was a big part of it, but the other part of it was I needed to, like, in my mind, watch her to make sure she was still breathing, she was still alive. So I definitely had sleep anxiety at night. That went away. I was totally aware of it, keeping an eye on it. I'm aware of mental health and making sure I'm okay. So I was keeping an eye on myself to make sure that it wasn't progressing into actual like postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression, but it really was just, I feel like first mom, like, oh my God, I have a newborn. And I haven't been around a ton of newborns prior to having a baby. I was around my niece when she was born, but not like spending nights with her and her bedtime routine and all of that. I just basically saw her a couple of times when she was like teeny. So that was like my first 5 things of what I didn't know what was going to happen. Now the rest of this is all about my advice, and you can take it with a grain of salt, you can take it with your whole heart, whatever you want to do. It's just my advice that I pretty much wish I would have known or had someone tell me these things. So my first one is don't compare. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to other moms, other babies, like comparing your babies, like seeing, like, for me, I got stuck in that trap for a couple of days where I was like, oh my goodness, she isn't on a sleep schedule, but she's teeny, so she doesn't need to be, but this person has their baby on a sleep schedule, and looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook, seeing all my friends have their babies, what they're doing with their babies, the clothes they're in, doing their like monthly updates. It's all bull crap. Like, every baby is different, every mom's different, every family is different. Don't compare yourself to other people. And that's even out of motherhood. Like, outside of motherhood, just in your own normal lives. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. It's the biggest thief of joy, like that quote says. And then talk about your feelings. If you're feeling overwhelmed in the moment, talk about it. Vocalize those things, because if you're holding it in, you're just gonna explode and you're gonna feel more anxious, and it's going to be harder for you to take care of your baby, in my opinion, if you're just holding in all your feelings. And then third piece of advice that I wish someone told me is to stay off social media. I didn't completely stay off social media, but I had my days where I would get so sucked in and I was like looking at everyone's Instagram stories. Sorry, I'm like fumbling around with sitting, but my feet are going numb. I was looking at everyone's Instagram stories. I was comparing myself to them, and in my work of working on my own anxiety, I had to limit my time off social media in general. Now, after becoming a mom, those hormones, like I said, are wild. Like, you just gave birth. So your mind's like going 100 miles a minute. If you're adding in like the instant gratification and the movements and everything of social media, your brain is like fried, and that's what happened to my brain. So I just recommend staying off social media or limiting your time on social media. That's what I did. I just limited my time, and I, like, if I had a few people that I wanted to like check up on that are like my really good friends, I would just like kind of look at their Instagram story and be like, oh, cute, and then get off and go do something. Take care of the baby, love her and love on her, do things like that. Take some me time. So that's that. And then also eating healthy food and drinking water. So this is kind of like duh, but it's so easy to not eat the healthiest of things. So after you give birth, it's like everything is happening. Like, there's so many things going on, so many things. So if you don't have time to eat healthy, which you probably won't have time to like prepare your food, ask someone to help you. Just eat something healthy, like fruit, vegetables, just something. Just ask for help. Ask someone to help you with your food, because that's going to help you feel so much better and help you stay up those crazy nights with your baby and help you take care of your baby better. And drinking tons of water, especially if you're breastfeeding, helps keep up your milk supply, and it gives you more energy. Like, for me personally, when I drink more water, I just feel more balanced. I feel better because we are pretty much water. So that's what I recommend. It's so important. I know it's like everyone says that, but it's true. And then say no to guests, visitors, and going out. And this was so hard for me because Teresa, prior to having a baby, is like, yeah, let's go everywhere, let's do this and that and this and that. And I was like, you know what, it's still gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna bring my baby along. And it can still be the same thing, but that's if you're feeling up for it. You do not have to entertain guests at your house. You do not have to have visitors if you don't want to, and you don't have to take your baby anywhere if you're feeling tired, which chances are you are feeling tired because of the sleep deprivation. So say no. I fell into that trap of wanting to go out and doing all these things, and I'd be so exhausted and having to entertain people at my house that John and I literally, after she was like a week, were like, we can't do that no more. Like, we are done. We are having our home time. We are having our family time, and everyone else can visit later on whenever. So That is totally my advice, and know that you are still amazing and you are still perfect and whole, even if you don't have any guests. Like, you don't have to entertain anyone. You don't have to do that. Just give yourself a break. You just birthed a baby. And then I have make time for yourself. Even if that's 5 minutes of meditation, taking a walk. When I would get packages, we would get them delivered at the little like package system here in our apartment complex. I would just be like, babe, I'm gonna go get a package, and that was like my alone time for a little bit, just to go walk to get my package and come back, and I'm like, whoa, I feel so different. I would have taken more walks, but it's winter time, so. And then journal out your feelings, talk things out like I've been doing. Just writing things down, even if it's like a sentence of what's on your mind, because chances are you have a lot going on up there after birth. And then just know, like, I want to give you these words, that you can survive sleep deprivation. Like, that love that you have for your baby will help you work through it. I still have, like, my baby, like I keep saying her age, but she's almost 4 weeks old. And of course I'm up like all hours of the night just feeding her, and I remind myself of this like each and every time I wake up. I'm like, I am good, like I'm fine, I love her so much and she makes it so worth it. All she has to do is smile at me and I'm like, I can survive. And then ask for help, like I talked about before, even if that's just someone coming over and still hanging out with you but just holding your baby. Go have alone time, or go do the dishes if you want to do that, if you feel up for that, because that's going into my next point. But just ask for help, and this is coming from like the queen of never asking for help. So just ask for it. And then for me, I felt most comfortable with my baby, more comfortable around her sleeping, and just kind of understanding her cues, understanding her energy, going off her like energetically at 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, I feel like that was like the prime time in getting into kind of a groove. And I heard the same thing on Erin Williams's channel when she was doing her postpartum update like a year or two ago or something like that. That 2 week mark is like magic, I think. And then you don't have to have it all together. You don't. Like, chances are you're gonna have nothing together, and you don't have to clean everything, which that was like my next point, going off of having someone help you if you want to do like household chores, but you don't have to get it all done. In Girl Wash Your Face, Rachel Hollis's book, she said there's only 2 things to pay attention to after you have a baby. Number 1, make sure that your baby is taken care of, and number 2, make sure that you're taken care of. And if nothing else gets done, it's perfect. That's okay. So that's it, guys. That is my kind of postpartum advice. Things I wish someone would have told me, and things that happened that I had no idea would happen, that I would feel, that I would experience. So I love you guys so much. Click that subscribe button if you are new, and leave something amazing down below, like a comment, something positive, to create a beautiful community so that all of us mamas and anyone in general, we all know that we're not alone. And that's my baby. She is crying. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a beautiful day, and I'm gonna go grab her and show you guys her really, really quick if she's not going back to bed. Bye guys, love you. So she totally went back to sleep. So no baby spam just yet, but if I have more pictures, which I do because I take 99 pictures of her, I will put that right here at the very end. Have a beautiful day, guys, and I love you all. Yeah, bye.